we are here today with Shai Dickman, the cousin of Carmel Gat, who was taken captive by Hamas on October 7th when she was visiting her parents at Kibbutz Be'eri. Shai, welcome and thank you for being here today with us.
Thank you, Debbie.
It's been more than 2.5 months since Carmel Gat was kidnapped. What have you heard about the abduction from both the Israeli government and other hostages that might have seen her?
So yes, it's true. Carmel was kidnapped from her parents' house on October 7th. And since then, we've heard from hostages that have been released that they were with her together. We were actually glad to hear that she was not alone. And we heard from them something that we were very excited to hear. She was actually having yoga sessions with them. She was practicing with them. She was doing whatever in her power to make herself and them as safe as possible in this situation where her mental state and physical state are in question. We were really glad to hear at least that the powers that she owns inside her were able to make her stronger and give this strength to others as well.
Wow, that says a lot about her. And I know this is very difficult to ask, but as the days keep passing, what is your greatest fear?
I feel a lot of fear inside me. I'm worried about her mental health. I'm worried about her physical health. 76 days, 77 soon. You know how much happened to us in 77 days? In these 77 days, I found out that what happened in Kibbutz Be'eri, and I found out about people whom I knew and are dead. And I found out that other relatives of mine have been kidnapped, and some of them, such as Yarden, were even released. And so much has happened since, and I just can't imagine what Carmel has been through in 77 days. I know that hostages that have been released were not eating well. They are not fed well. I know that there might have been, I know that the women might have been touched. And this is my deepest fear about Carmel, that she will be scarred mentally because of being abused there. And I'm worried with every day that passes. I'm thinking about her when I'm going to sleep. I think, who is it next to her when she's asleep? When I'm going to the toilet and I lock the door, after hearing what Yarden, who came back from her sister-in-law, and she was saying she was not alone for one moment, and I'm thinking, is she safe? Is someone keeping her safe for us?
Now that you mentioned the Ardennes, she was recently released by the Hamas and came back to your family. So if you can share with us maybe some things that she shared with you that give you hope, and some things that concern you, particularly being a woman in Gaza.
The beginning, after October 7th, my heart locked up. So much horror, so much disaster, so many horrible things that have happened to everybody that I knew, and I just shut down. But then when the deals started and when people came back safe, not in the best physical situation, and some of them also mental situation, but they came, some of them, alive, and it gave me so much hope. And when Yarden came, wow, our family was amazing. I mean, her daughter got her mother back. You know the difference between a daughter that Geffen, her daughter, is 3.5 years old, and she was kidnapped with her, and she managed to escape with her father alone, but Yarden was left and dragged into Gaza. And Geffen has been through it. She has been through the kidnapping, and she knew that her mother is still held there, And you need to explain to a 3.5-year-old girl that her mother is away, that she was taken by, we told her, bad people took her, and we are looking for her. And we managed to tell her that she's alive and she's back with her. And the difference between the Friday meal before Yarden came back and after Yarden came back to the family, you can't believe what it made to our family. But the happiness is not whole. You know, Yarden was speaking about experiences from her captivity, and you can see it also in an interview that she gave. The one moment where she broke is with the hope that Carmel will come back. The day after Yarden came back, we were sure, we were certain that the next day Carmel is going to come back to us. I was going in the streets, I was looking out for yoga mattress. I wanted her to have it the moment she's back, and I was at her house in Berry. We were packing. The house is shattered, but some of the things are still kept safe. And I put aside some stuff that I knew in my heart that she would get them. I was sure she's going to be there next day, and I'll be able to give her a hug and to give her stuff and to give her a feeling of home, even though there's no house to come back to. And the deal was canceled. You know, Hamas didn't stand for their word, and we didn't get Carmel back. And since then, I've been waiting. Since the moment we heard from the hostages that were released that Carmel was with them and practicing yoga with them, 3 weeks have passed. 3 weeks. And I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for the next deal. I'm waiting for Carmel to come back to us.
Was Yarden kept with Carmel at any point?
No, they were apart. They haven't seen each other. Actually, as far as Carmel knows, so Carmel was kidnapped out of her parents' house, as you said. First, her mother was taken. Her father has seen her mother taken from the window of the toilet where he was hiding. Before they took her mother managed to tell him, she made this movement with her finger over her lips and told him to run away, and he hid in the toilet. And from the window of the toilet, of the bathroom actually, he saw his family members taken one after the other by terrorists. So the first was Kinneret, and we found out later from videos that Hamas was, you know, just uploading to the media that Kinneret, my aunt and Carmel's mother, was murdered. And she was murdered on the pavement in front of her house. And when Carmel was taken, she's probably seen her mother shot. So as far as she knows, her mother is dead. Her father, her brother, the wife of her brother, her niece, she doesn't know what's going on with them. She doesn't know what's going on with Yarden. She doesn't know what's going on with both of her brothers. She doesn't know what's going on with her father. The only thing she knows is that her mother is dead and she was taken away. And even the hostages that were staying with her were taken from her. And she doesn't know that they are alive and that they came back to Israel safe. So I'm afraid that she thinks that she's left there and that we all have forgotten about her, that we don't know even that she's alive, that none of us in her family, she doesn't know that we're still alive. She doesn't know that the Israeli people are fighting for her, and she doesn't know that the world is fighting for her life.
I'm so sorry to hear about this story. Is there any chance that you can share with us some of the stories that Yarden shared with you so that people can understand what it's like to be in Hamas's captivity?
So what Yarden was saying about her experience in captivity is the feeling of constant fear, constant worry. She says that the war, being in a war zone, is frightening. And she's saying that being watched 24/7, she was there for 55 days, and 24/7, there were guards looking at her. And every single moment, she was in a risk for her life, for her safety, and for, as a woman, in fear for her body, for the wholeness of her body. And this feeling is something that, as a woman, I cannot imagine, being in the hands of strangers, of the enemy, of someone that took you from your house, that separated you from your family, that doesn't give you enough food and doesn't let you go back to where you belong, and fear for your life in every single moment. It must end. For Carmel and for all the other hostages, they have to come back home, and we owe it to them. Us, humanity.
Has anyone from the Red Cross or any other international humanitarian organization reached out to you?
I don't know if Carmel is looked after. I don't know if she's getting any medical support. I'm a medicine student myself. And to know that people in all ages, there are also old people over there. And there have recently been released videos of them, which is something, it's almost optimistic because we see they are alive, but at the same time, you can see their eyes are they have these blacks, I don't know the word. Okay, their eyes are sunk and they're thin. You can see that they are not fed well, and you can see that they are not in health. So I don't know who's looking out for her, but I know that they're not looked out for as they deserve and as they should be back at home.
A ceasefire was thought to be in the motion, and Hamas not only did not accept it, but it has been firing rockets en masse at Israeli cities today. What should the world be doing to get the hostages out?
So I think that the world's responsibility is to call out for a deal, is to call out, first, it is to understand that Hamas is a terror organization. And we need every support that we can get in order to maintain a deal and to be able to get back our people safe. I think that we know from history that the world's support has influence over our government, and most importantly, over Hamas. Hamas is dependent in its resources on the world, and the world has to support us in our effort to make a deal with Hamas. We want our people back, and we need to have your help.
What can you tell us about Carmel that might help the public understand who is she and what kind of person Carmel is?
Carmel is my cousin. She is a strong woman, a smart woman. She's someone that at the same meeting with her, you can both have the most silly laugh and have the deepest conversation about anything in the world. And you can be sure that you'll get out with insights for the next year or two. Every single conversation with her is meaningful. Carmel is a person that loves every human being in this world. She accepts everybody. She has connections with people from all over the world. She has been many times to India, and it's the place she loves the most to go travel to. And she makes connection there as well. And for the last 2.5 months that she's not here, I have made connections with the people that love her, and there are so many of them, and they are from different origins, different sexes, different races. There are all kinds of people that she has touched with her compassion, with her wisdom, and I love her and I miss her. And so do her father, her brothers, our family, her friends, so many people that are missing Carmel. She has to come back as soon as possible.
Well, we only wish for the freedom of Carmel and of all the hostages. And thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Debbie.